FunPlus Phoenix are coming into Counter-Strike Global Offensive for real in 2021, with an announcement of their roster expected in the next few days or maybe weeks. So this team, FunPlus Phoenix, was supposed to come into Counter-Strike ages ago with the announcement of Flashpoint Season 1 where they would be one of the partner teams. They were going to sign the Heroic roster, but then some fuckery happened. Of course, CSPPA was somehow involved, because everything that's been terrible this year has involved them. We know that the Flashpoint tournament organisers expect a certain level of quality from the teams that compete, in terms of world ranking and prestige. So with this in mind, it's time to wildly speculate as to who they will actually eventually end up signing. The first roster I have in mind is the X-Chaos roster. We know that this team are maybe third or fourth best in the North American region right now, maybe fifth given the rise of MIBR. But they have potential to grow. They have some very good players, good enough to get accused of cheating. So they are a decent core. It'd also be great to see a new team signed who are North American, because that scene has been struggling a lot recently, with almost everyone of note running off to Valorant or just dropping their teams. So the only question at that point remains is, will they bring that team into Europe? Will they leave them in North America where they can probably win a lot of games, but ultimately not have the eyes upon them that they'd really require to promote their brand? The second option I have in mind is the the X100 Thieves roster, plus another because JKS is now gone. This is a group of pretty solid players. Azza, Gratisfaction and Liaz. We know that Jacob has been bought out or signed from the Apex team he's in, so it's potentially possible that they'd pick them up, plus one other. There's a bunch of free agents lying about. They could go pick up... Well, unfortunately most of them are AWPers, and they already have Grat, but to be honest, Gratisfaction isn't going to change the fucking world as an AWPer, so maybe they'd still go out and sign Smooya, Grant, or NATO Safix or someone like that. But yeah, that'd be an option, is to sign the X100 Thieves guys, including Jacob, and pick one other guy up. Maybe one of the Gen G guys. We'll get to that in a bit. So of course the next option I have would be X Gen G plus Jacob plus one. The reason that I've put plus one and not any specific players, because the X Gen G guys already have Automatic who's looking to AWP. They already have a bunch of riflers, and you can't really say that any of the X100 Thieves guys would join this team, because of what we heard from them is that they want to stick to an Australian team. At least that's what Azza said. He wants to play with other Aussies. So they're the best choices you have if you want to build a contending team, outside of buying an entire roster who are already contending. Which brings me on to Heroic. Now Heroic was the team they were trying to sign all those months ago when they first joined Flashpoint. This team might still be available, and they're pretty good. They aren't the number one team in the world anymore. Everyone else has caught up to them. Everyone else has figured out the online era. A bunch of players that were taking breaks have come back. But still, there's a lot of good players on this team, and it's the Danish scene. If you ever need another player, you can go looking for them. You'll find them. That's the big advantage of that scene. The problem is that we have a lot of options we don't actually know about. They may have the budget to buy out an entire top 5 or top 10 roster. We don't know quite the level they're invested into CSGO. I'm highly doubtful that they're invested that deeply, because we know it's quite hard to make money, and especially when the LAN tournaments have all been cancelled, it is incredibly difficult to get that money in. So maybe they won't, but if they do pick up a 5-man roster, there are some good options out there. Maybe they'll pick up instead some of the players from FaZe if that team ends up disintegrating, or if FaZe sign Carrigan, maybe they'll have a bunch of the Mousesports players available to them, or they might be the ones trying to sign the Mousesports team. We don't know. We really don't know what level they're willing to invest into CSGO. Honestly, what I'm really hoping for here is that they sign a team for North America. We've seen so many orgs leave, especially towards the latter end of this year. We've seen a lot of orgs just go flying out of Counter-Strike. Decided, sure, there's not currently more money in Valorant, but if this year has shown us anything, is that we need some regulation, we need some control, we need some structure. Otherwise, we're going to stop making that money. We need to keep these big orgs, keep these big venture capitalist groups interested. So if they sign a North American team, that'd be brilliant. Okay, thanks for watching. I'll see you in the next one. Goodbye.